Vamos, we are through. Real Madrid are in the last 16 of the Champions League. And I am going to be honest with you. I have never felt so relieved and so unsatisfied at the exact same time in my entire life.
That is the most accurate description of supporting this team right now. We won, we advanced, and yet half the fan base is sitting there going, difficult to believe in La Decimosexta, which, by the way, is literally the headline Marca ran this morning.
But before we get into the doom and gloom, can we please talk about Aurelian Tchouaméni? Because this man was MVP in the first leg in Lisbon, MVP again last night at the Bernabéu, and he comes out of the mixed zone and says, I don't feel like the boss of Madrid. Tio, the humility.
The fans on Reddit are calling him modern Mr. UCL, and honestly, I don't think that's hyperbole anymore. Someone in the thread said, unarguably the best UCL player in the last 5 years. And look, you can argue with that, but you'd be arguing uphill.
A year ago, people were calling for him to be sold. A year ago, and now he's the guy holding this entire Champions League campaign together with his bare hands. I feel like we owe that man a public apology on behalf of the fan base.
The fan base does not apologize, Rafa. You know this. The fan base has the memory of a goldfish when a player is performing and the memory of an elephant when he's not. But yes, Tchouaméni has been genuinely exceptional. He reads the game, he covers ground, and crucially, he actually defends, which apparently is a rare skill at this club.
Que barbaridad. That is a segue so sharp it could cut glass. Because yes, Courtois also saved us again. He's out there doing something he called a sweep-the-leg technique he learned at Chelsea. And I love this man. I love him. He's completely unhinged in the best possible way.
He saved the UCL hopes, as the fans put it. And look, when your goalkeeper is the headline alongside your central midfielder, that tells you something about the quality of the performance overall. It wasn't pretty, but we're through, and that matters.
Now, Vinicius. Vini scored, did the dance, and the internet absolutely lost its mind. Again. Someone on Reddit just posted a GIF and wrote Vini with the last laugh. And honestly, that is the entire story in 4 words.
He scored the 2-1, celebrated with the exact same dance he did in Daluz in the first leg, and the reactions were brilliant. Baila Vini. One person just said, today I feel Vini Jr. with a gif of someone crying happy tears, pure uncut fan emotion.
And then someone had to write never beating the Indian allegations, which I had to have explained to me, but apparently it is a compliment. The internet is a foreign country, Maria. I do not have a passport.
It's Gen Z fan culture, Rafa. Just smile and wave. The point is, Vinicius is delivering in the biggest moments, and after everything with Prestiani this week, after all the ugliness, him dancing again felt like a statement. And fans absolutely felt that.
Speaking of ugliness, we have to talk about the Nazi salute. Because a fan was caught on TV cameras giving a Nazi salute inside the Bernabéu before the match, was ejected, and the reactions in the fan spaces have been actually really strong.
And credit where it's due, the Madrid fanbase online was not making excuses for this. The comments were overwhelmingly calling for a lifetime ban. One fan specifically referenced the German legal standard, up to 3 years in prison, and said Spain needs to be held to the same level.
There was also this one comment in Spanish, I'll translate, basically saying these people were already expelled from the Bernabéu years ago, and that this one clearly slipped through, but he will be banned for life like the others. And look, I believe that has to happen. Hala Madrid does not mean that. It has never meant that.
The other interesting thread was about the atmosphere more broadly. Some fans were asking how many Benfica supporters were in the stadium because apparently they could hear them booing. One fan wrote, no way the Benfica fans are the only ones booing. How many of them are in our home stadium? Which is a whole separate conversation about ticket distribution.
That one stings because it's true. The Bernabéu atmosphere on European nights has been a topic for years, and it still hasn't been fixed. But let's move on, because we need to talk about Mbappé, or rather, the absence of Mbappé, and what that is doing to people's brains.
Yesterday, we talked about fans being weirdly relieved he was injured, and today, the sentiment has not really changed. One fan wrote, and I'm quoting directly, he made a huge mistake playing these last weeks and months. He should have rested and healed properly. And that is actually a fair point, buried inside the frustration.
Another one said, God, if we just get the right reinforcements and make Mbappé a real striker, and that is the debate in a nutshell, isn't it? Is the system broken or is the player wrong for the system? And we've been going around this circle since August.
The Gonzalo Garcia angle is interesting, though. Someone said, "We've already seen that Gigi is usually better than injured Mbappé." And look, that is a hot take, but it's not baseless. A fit Mbappé playing the right role is a different conversation. A half-injured Mbappé playing out of position is genuinely a problem.
And then there was the Modric thing. Apparently on El Futbolín, they were going after the team after the Benfica match, and someone said, with Modric at 40, he'd still be a starter at Real Madrid. And Madre Mia, that one landed. Because you look at Tchouaméni covering everything alone and you think, yeah, a fit Modric in his prime would be solving several problems at once right now.
It's not really about Modric specifically. It's about the creative midfield void that keeps revealing itself in big moments. Tchouaméni is exceptional defensively, but the team still lacks someone who can unlock a low block with one pass. That was Modric's gift, and nobody in this squad quite has it.
Arbeloa in the press conference said, "We'll see what the hot balls bring us about the draw for the next round," which is a very Arbeloa thing to say. Technically correct, reveals nothing, mildly amusing. The fans are already debating who they want in the last 16, and I will say this, nobody wants Bayern. Nobody.
We're through. We have problems. We have heroes, Tchouaméni and Courtois chief among them. And we have a fan base that is oscillating between he saved our UCL hopes and difficult to believe in La Decimosexta. That tension is the whole story of this season, and it isn't going away.
We are in the last 16 of the Champions League. Vini danced. Tchouaméni was a colossus. And somewhere in Madrid tonight, there is a fan who got ejected from the Bernabéu who deserved everything he got. That is the full spectrum of human experience in 90 minutes of football, Tio.
On that note, we'll be back tomorrow with the draw reaction, more Mbappé injury updates, and whatever new chaos this club decides to generate between now and then. It's Real Madrid. There will be chaos. Hala Madrid.